All right, ladies and gentlemen, for this next problem, you are going to need your template packet. It looks pretty much exactly like the one I have on display for you, and the first page lists in the top corner, Lesson 2 template. So go ahead and get that out. You can go ahead and pause this video if you need to. We are also going to continue working with our right angle template. So we are going to use it to find all of the right angles on this page. Think to yourself, how will you know if it is indeed a right angle? Think about what we did in the last problem. In order to determine that it is exactly a right angle, you're going to want to make sure that the sides in your right angle template match exactly with the sides of the angle. So, we are going to identify that point where we line up our right angle template on each of these. You'll notice that they all have a symbol to represent. We have the arc here showing that it is indeed an angle, and we have a symbol representing one of those points. That is our vertex. If you're keeping a list of all this vocabulary we've been working on, here's a new one. A vertex is a point where two lines meet. There it is. There is a vertex. So we have a point is another term for it as well, but it's a special kind of point because it's not just one on the end willy-nilly. It's where two lines meet. So let's take a look at our template and see if we can identify which are right angles based on how we line up our template with our vertex. So I'm going to go ahead on number 1 and line it up, noticing my points are very nicely matching. I also notice a couple of other things. On this one, I would definitely say it's a right angle. This line definitely matches with the lines on my template. It does not go beyond or below where those angles are. So I would say that this is a right angle. It is 90 degrees. So normally when we mark angles, we have an arc. When you see right angles, you're going to see it marked with a square symbol instead. So that square, instead of the arc representing the angle, lets us know that we are looking at a right angle 90 degrees. Let's take a look at B. I'm going to line up the base. I'm going to pick a line and line it up, and then line up my point. And I'm noticing here, watch as I draw this out to really help create that visual for you. If this were a right angle, my line here should be matched up with the blue line I've just created. That indicates to me that this is not a right angle. So I am going to go ahead and say that this is less than a right angle. It is less than 90 degrees. We'll get into this vocabulary a little bit more later, but because of that, this would be determined to be acute. I'm just trying to figure out if it's less than or greater than 90 degrees, but fun fact, the terminology for that would be acute. If I look at C, I'm going to use a similar strategy. Whoa, check this one out. I'm going to extend my line out again just to be sure. You don't have to do that if you know for sure, but I like to do that. So you can see here I've lined up my right angle template, the baseline with the vertex, and extended it out. C is definitely greater than 90 degrees. Because it is greater than 90 degrees, it is obtuse. I'm going to go ahead and say less than 90 degrees. So continue on this template and go ahead and take a look at your other angles. For D here, I'm noticing that my template, when I use this line, it covers up the line. I can easily twist it and still extend out my line and determine pretty quickly, maybe even without using the template, that this is less than 90 degrees and is acute. It is a cute little angle. It is so tiny. That helps me figure out the difference between acute and obtuse. So once again for E, oh, we have a perfect match. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one as right. It is just right. It is 90 degrees. Looking at F, even without my template, I can already tell, without even drawing that extra line, I'm noticing that this arrow is extending out inside this 90-degree angle, which means it would be less than, and it would be acute. Continuing on with G. Ooh, I can't eyeball this one. This one looks close. Let's match it up. I'm going to match up the vertex of my template with the vertex here. G is right. H. Take a look at H. That is big and wide. I'm not even going to measure this one. This one is clearly obtuse. Clearly, it is greater than 90 degrees. I would say the same for I. Take a look at my arc here. This is the angle I'm measuring. It's totally bigger than 90 degrees. I can always double check here, but ooh wee, that is almost a straight line. That is obtuse. Greater than. J is cutting it close. I'm not totally sure on J. It looks like it might be right angle. It looks like it could potentially even be more. So I'm going to go ahead and line up my template. Make sure one of those lines is lined up and line up the vertex. I can clearly see here now that it extends past 90 degrees and this is obtuse again. So you can use this template kind of as a protractor. We're not getting into specific measurements yet, but we want to be able to identify whether an angle is obtuse, acute, or right, just right at 90 degrees.